Welcome to Sonic Bros. Today I will go over IP-based animatronics, but this time I will go over more of them. So if you watched my IP-based animatronics video, well, there's so many more. So let's begin. So back in 1959, a show came out called The Many Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. And it contained Bullwinkle, Rocky, Dudley Do-Right, Boris and Natasha, and Snidely Whiplash, and Dudley Do-Right. And this show, and P. Body and Sherman. And this show was really popular. It was a success. But the show ended in 1964. Until around the early 80s, they decided to make a Bullwinkle's themed restaurant called Bullwinkle's Family Food and Fun. And it had animatronics of Snidely Whiplash, Dudley Do-Right, Rocky, Bullwinkle, Underdog, Hippity Hopper, Tudor Turtle, Tennessee Tuxedo, and Chumling. And Underdog, Tennessee Tuxedo, and Chumling are not Rocky and Bullwinkle characters. They're Toto television characters, which I'm not sure why they use these characters. Not really sure why. And also they have Boris and Natasha animatronics as well. And they had a water show before the show started, which the water would be programmed to songs, which if you ask me is a pretty smart idea. It's pretty neat. And the reason why they use these characters is to have a Bullwinkle live show, which contained Snidely Whiplash, Bullwinkle, Rocky, Underdog, and a moose character, which is a girl, but she only ever appeared in this live show, which is strange. Pretty interesting live show, and that's how they can use these characters. They've gone over quite a bit of stages where this one is like a more like cabin kind of stage, I feel like. And it had Rocky and Bullwinkle, Boris and Natasha on it. And this is where they started to phase out the other characters. And in this stage, Tennessee Tuxedo and Chumling got phased out. And Dudley Do-Right was in his place where he was before, but Underdog got moved to their former spot, and Hoppity Hooper and Tudor Turtle are still there. And now the newest stage, the box office stage, which there's only one of these in the Tequila, Washington location, and the store is still open. And if you live by Washington, I recommend you go to Bullwinkle's restaurant. And they went through 3 companies. The only animated this display group, AVG Productions, and I forgot the third one's name. So yeah, they've gone quite a bit of variance with their stages, and the box office, and then like the city stage, which contained Rocky, Bullwinkle, Boris and Natasha, and Dudley Do-Right and Underdog were up there, and those windows would pop out. So yeah, most of the Bullwinkle's restaurants shut down, and now there's only 3 in operation. Thankfully, private collectors archive these animatronics, which is pretty amazing in my opinion. So that's awesome that they kept them, honestly, which is pretty cool. Next up is the Stu Leonard's Chester the Cheetah animatronic. Cheetos are a very popular American snack. That's the cheesy Cheeto snack. And their mascot is Chester the Cheetah. And Stu Leonard's is a grocery store which has animatronics in it. It's pretty cool. And this guy was produced by VP Productions. And this guy was meant to sell Pepsi Cola products and Cheeto products. Pretty cool animatronic. He was one of Stu Leonard's earlier animatronics, and now he's not at the store, but he got bought on eBay. Now he's owned by a private collector, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Next up is the very popular and famous video game Super Mario. This game was known for being one of the first ever platformers, and the Italian plumber Mario. And these games were super popular, and they even made a movie recently, which is pretty cool. And for the E3 Gaming Expo, they made a Mario animatronic, which this guy doesn't look too bad in my opinion. He actually looks pretty great. And this guy's last year in operation was 2001, and then after that, he wasn't seen at E3 ever again, and he won't be because E3 is now gone. And Wario was also made as well, and this Wario animatronic is pretty awesome looking. It shows Wario's personality very well. And these guys, apparently they're archived in Nintendo's office, but no pictures exist of them today. But apparently they're still existent, which is a good thing. It'll be sad if they destroy these animatronics, because they are pretty good looking animatronics if you ask me. So yeah, these Mario animatronics could actually interact with people, which I find pretty cool. And yeah, it's sad that these guys were phased out over time, because these guys are pretty cool and must have been a must-to thing to do at E3. Next up, a 2014 horror game made by Scott Cawthon, Five Nights at Freddy's. This game blew up on the internet, and it was based off of Chuck E. Cheese's and Showbiz Pizza place. So, Sally Corporation was gonna make a dark ride out of it, and then here's some concept art. This ride will contain Freddy Fazbear, Chica the Chicken, Bonnie the Bunny, and Foxy the Pirate Fox, and he was the only one ever made. This ride focused on working a night shift at the pizzeria, and you can either get out, which would be the good ending, or stay in, which is a bad ending. And no theme park wanted to buy this ride, which is a shame, because this ride was going to be a pretty cool ride for FNAF fans, I would assume. And Foxy was the only character made, which he is in Sally Corporation's office in Florida, which you can actually go to and take tours there. And if you want to see this Foxy animatronic, well, feel free to come over to Orlando and see it there for yourself. So this dark ride never happened, but multiple things were made for it. So yeah, this could have been a very popular theme park attraction. And possibly Universal could always make this into a real ride, because of the FNAF movie and stuff. Next up is the very popular 1960s cartoon show and sitcom, The Flintstones, which had Fred Flintstone, Barney Rubbles, Dino the Dinosaur, and Wilma. And before, it was a show called The Wildlife Trio, which there's a duck, a bear, and then who the heck is that creature? And this show is very, very strange, and his eye even glows red, which to me is not that great, honestly. And they had a retrofit of the show called the Bedrock City Show, which is a billion times more better in my opinion. Fred on the guitar, Dino on drums, and Wilma on the piano. This show was made for Flintstone's Bedrock City amusement park in South Dakota, and the Arizona location had no animatronics. But that one's still open, and the South Dakota one is closed. And this show operated for a very long time, from the 90s to about the early 2010s. And this show was in the Playhouse Theater, which, if you ask me, this show is actually pretty nice looking. They capture the characters' design super well, and Wilma's dots for eyes and stuff. It is just like the Flintstones cartoon. And the theme park shut down and was left to rot, and people damaged the theme park. And oh dear lord, this is horrifying right here. Yeah, they tore out Wilma's eyes. Dino's dead, and then Fred just looks very depressed. The theme park shut down. Now it became a boring theme park, and now those animatronics have been most likely destroyed, unfortunately. So yeah, peace out.